So those are the kinds of things I want to introduce to you. I want to say thank you for staying on. I see there are as many people on at the beginning as there are now, so I'm delighted. Kate is going to handle some questions, and whether she's going to read them, or I think she's going to read them, I'm going to answer some questions. I'd also like to say that you can visit the Friedland and Relier Environmental Science for AP Facebook page. You can email me if you have something that I can help you with. Please let me know. There are many people at Macmillan, broadly speaking, or Bedford Freeman Worth publishers that can help you with, but one point of contact is Nicole Shepard is wonderful at figuring out who can help you get those resources that you need or help you get into that website. I want to thank Kate and Matt for technical assistance, and I'm going to stop there and see if Kate has been, I'm just going to turn it over and see what Kate has to say. Thank you again very much.
Oh, thank you so much, Andy. That was a wonderful presentation. I am now thinking about all the things in my home that I need to check on and need to make changes with, but that was great. If anyone has a question, if you would want to type it into the chat, I can read it, or if you will raise a hand, I will try to get you your raised hand. Do we have any questions? I think everyone at this point is
doing break the ice.
Exactly. I think everyone at this point is doing what I'm doing, thinking, what can I change? What can I do now?
Well, I'll say one thing, which is I'm a strong advocate of not insisting that our students do anything. So yes, conserve, increase efficiency, weatherize. But I like to explain, in our book I think we do this, and in my teaching I do this, that if you're concerned about CO2 concentrations in the atmosphere, then it seems like there are a number of logical actions you can take. But rather than tell someone you must conserve, you must increase efficiency, I like to let people see the impact of this and then make an assessment accordingly, or ask the question, what can I do? Which is why, to me, doing that energy audit, and I get each of my undergraduate students, and I do it as well, is to figure out, where do I use energy? And by first understanding where I use energy, you can then say, well, where might I save, or where might I fuel switch from something like coal to something that's relatively cleaner like natural gas, or something that's a lot cleaner like a renewable fuel.
Perfect. Well, that is wonderful. I am turning it actually over to my colleague, Matt Weaver, to just double check to make sure we do not have any questions, because for some reason my WebEx just kicked me out, so I can't see anything. I can hear everything, but I can't see anything. So Matt is going to take over for me and just double check to make sure we do not have any extra questions.
I do see 2 hands raised. I don't know if those are raised from a while back, or if maybe somebody there, Lisa or Christing. I don't know if those are questioners.
Yep, if either of you have questions, if you wouldn't mind just putting them in the chat, we can get to them. Otherwise,
so I'll go to,
we can assume that maybe those are just some residual raised hands from earlier.
Yeah, fair enough. So I guess I'm on that last slide, and I will just reiterate, if there are no questions coming in, that doing a few calculations like we did, just if one process is so efficient and another process is so much efficient, you multiply them together and get the ultimate efficiency. Those are the kinds of things that you want to be doing. And if you're not finding enough examples of that or enough practice of that in the book, by all means email me, and I'll be glad. When I do my AP Institutes, I just give a flash drive to everybody that participants share it. So we can certainly do that. So we have a nice comment. I do not have a question, but I've been using your textbook for 6 years and really like them. So thank you. That's from Lisa. Thanks. And yeah.
If anybody else wants to send over some glowing comments, please do.
I did want to let everyone know, just in case you missed it when we started, this webinar is recorded and will be available to you. So you will be able to get this. Our follow-up email will go out with the link to the webinar. It will also be up on Classroom Compass, VFW Classroom Compass. So you can find it there. And you will all be eligible to get a copy of the text.
So is that www.bfw Classroom Compass, all one word?
It is actually classroomcompass.bfwpub.com. Classroom Compass, all one word, .bfw, Bedford Freeman Worth, pub.com.
Okay, so I typed it in there. I don't know if it's going to stay and whether that's going to be visible. Let's see if I can get it into a larger font. No, it's not letting me do that. But at any rate, maybe we can put that in the somewhere. That's great.
Yes, that'll come out. That'll come out through the follow-up email. So it should come in there,
excellent.
And I'll make sure that everyone has that.
So another comment. Do you see this one? It's from Christina. Thanks for your time and helpful teaching tips, Dr. Friedland. I've been using your textbook for 3 years and love how I can arrange and rearrange the chapters in various ways to make different units! Exclamation point. That's really great. I like that idea that you don't have to teach the book from front to back 1 through 20 chapters. And by coming into things, that's a great way. For example, the thing I talked about today, you can come into it and talk about how do you heat water or how do you heat your home, and you can go to air pollution, you can go to CO2, you can go to efficiency of devices, you can go to water pollution and the consequences of mining. So I agree that it's like, I don't know, the analogy people use of unpeeling an onion. You can go in, you can keep unpeeling it and go in different directions, and I like that. There's a question, what's the best way to ask students to do an energy audit that actually applies to them? So that's a good question. So I ask my students to try to track their energy use for the past year. So they reconstruct how many, if any, airplane trips, how many subway trips, how many train and bus, and how much distance they went in by car. I give them some numbers, like if you go on an airplane, typical airplane is 40 miles per gallon per person. So if you went, 4,000 miles on the airplane, that would be the equivalent of using 100 gallons of diesel fuel or jet fuel and that sort of thing. But it depends. Maybe you could do an energy audit of your school. Maybe you could figure out how much electricity your school uses in a year, how much heating fuel it uses. Maybe that's natural gas or oil. Maybe you could get how many gallons of diesel fuel the buses in your school use. And maybe as a class you could do one. So that, Janine, is a possible way to think about things. That's one I would say. So let's see. Here's a comment. This year I made my units around characters from Captain Planet, and your chapters lend themselves great to that. So that's good to know. That was from Christina. So there are questions coming in. I didn't see all of them, so we hit a few of them. Thanks for your questions. Thanks for your comments. And I do see earlier the question, it's coming up now, but fracking, there are a number of you that answered my question, and I just didn't see the answers come in. So it is now 7 o'clock, so you make the call, Kate, if we should keep going a little longer or you want to call it. It's up to you. I'll say thank you, everybody, very much. I'm delighted that everybody's hanging on, and I hope I get a chance to meet you or interact with you by email or Facebook or some other way in the future.
I think that's wonderful. I also think we should get going for the evening, but I thank you so much for the wonderful presentation, and I thank everyone for staying with us and listening and for all of your comments, and I wish you all a good evening.